Okay, so I said I would show you how to put a zipper in your bag, and this is how to do it. First of all, you want to get the outer shell of your bag and you want to turn it right side out. Then you want to lay it flat, and from side seam to side seam, you want to measure how long that is. Mine is 19.5. Your zipper has to be shorter than that. I bought an 18-inch zipper, but if you actually measure the zipper tape, it goes exactly 19.5 inches.
Well, that's shenanigans.
I know. Well, it's an 18-inch zipper, but
Yeah.
then the zipper tape is more.
Gotcha.
So what I found out is if I cut it up right at this tab, it's 18 inches, and that's good.
Yep.
If yours is too long, what you can do is you take a hand needle and go opposite from the bottom, but you stitch around one of the teeth several times to make a new top, and then you can clip off right before there.
Whoa, wild.
Yeah. So
are there videos about that out there somewhere, probably, or?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. But if your zipper is already
hopefully your zipper just
at least an inch shorter than the top of your bag, you're good to go. You can just line it up here with the top of this bag, making it even distance away from the side seams. You can just pin this here and baste it in. It didn't go super successfully for me though when I did it. So I'm gonna show you how to add a little extension on your zipper. So out of your scraps of fabric, if you want to add a little extension, you want to cut strips that are 2 inches wide by however long that bag was. So my strips are 2 inches wide by
19
and a half.
And a half.
Yes. Yep.
19 plus a little bit.
You're separating zipper, and then you are gonna put this, pull your zipper tab down to the bottom, but put your zipper, the edge of your zipper up against the edge of the strip, but leave equal distance on each side. So for me, that's about 1.5 inches.
3/4 of an inch on each side.
Yeah, not 1.5 inches. Sorry, about
1.5 inches total.
About a 1/2 inch. I meant a 1/2 inch. Sorry.
Okay.
Then you're going to take this other piece and set it down on top. Now you're going to work through and match all three together. So again, the zipper tape should be well inside the...
And it doesn't matter which way the zipper is facing, but you want...
Not if they're both the same color.
But you want right sides together on the strips.
Yes, correct. Zippers are the only time that I don't pin perpendicular to the seam I'm sewing. I actually pin parallel because that's just such small space. So I'll show you on one layer, but you'll want to be doing this on 2 layers. I pin like this so that when I go to pull the pins out, they come towards me. So you are going to do this, sandwiching all the layers the whole way down. And if you want to pick it up, if that's easier to make all 3 layers match, you can. So that would be an example of picking it up and pinning. I'm doing this opposite how I normally do it, which feels awkward. Then we are going to use our zipper foot to sew this in, and there's a little couple tricks you are going to enable as you do this. So I'm actually going to have you come around and film from over my shoulder.
Careful with your pins. Constant assault on the fingers.
Okay, so to sew in a zipper, we have to change the presser foot to a zipper presser foot. And so I'm mounting mine so that the bulk of the zipper is off on this side. That enables me to stitch close to the zipper. I also am going to start after this tab and we will come back to this, but it's hard. Like if you try to sew around this tab, even with a zipper foot, you kind of like a loop. Oh, actually I pinned for the wrong side for that. Well, that's okay because my zipper foot can change. So it's just gonna come over here now. We're gonna sew around this side. So I don't know if you can see this, but I'm gonna start, my zipper tab is behind me. I'm skipping about 2 inches. Wow. Okay. Just.
Why skipping 2 inches?
Because we'll come back for it, and if we were trying to sew around that tab, it would be difficult, but we can later move it. Right. So we're gonna sew. I'm doing this in red. Again, you can do it in.
What's your seam allowance?
I'm getting this is lined up with the zipper.
Okay.
There's not really a seam allowance. You just keep the edge of the foot lined up with the zipper.
Okay. So it seems like it's sewing pretty easily. Yep,
it is pretty easy. As long as you got a zipper foot. Now, as you approach this edge, I want you to stop, and I want you to fold this back so you can see the zipper tape, and I want you to fold this around. So again...
What do you mean around?
You're folding this back, and then you fold this over, not backwards, but over.
So you're folding both pieces in the same direction?
Yes, towards your presser foot. Okay. And do your best to keep them folded, like they should be folded the whole way as we come up here. And I had to lift up my presser foot to get the edges under them, but come down to the bottom. So they were folded over like that. Okay, now we are actually gonna go pick up this other guy. So what we're gonna do to be able to make it easier to sew, we'll zip him up past where we've already stitched and pick up down here to the end.
Clever.
So, getting back in my line of stitching. Making sure that all those 3 line up. Now, again, we're going to do the same thing here. Fold this over, and so if it puckers, you can lift up your presser foot and smooth it down and go to the bottom. What you hear is not, it's the plastic part of the zipper, so it's okay. So you've got this. Now we're gonna open it up. You can stay over here.
Okay.
And so check that your zipper zips the whole way up and down, because if it doesn't, if it catches, then we need to go back and rip that part. We are gonna open this up, but then we're also gonna top stitch it just so that our fabric never can creep into the zipper teeth. So you're pressing this away from the zipper, careful around your zipper teeth because they are made of synthetic. And on the ends where these things were folded over, you want to continue the fold and make sure both edges match.
What do you mean continue the fold?
So they'll be folded over because of the way you stitch it.
You want to leave them folded.
Yes, leave them folded. But okay, here's my example. So you want a 90-degree angle. So this is a little bit more than 90-degree angle. So I'm fixing him so that he is 90 degrees.
Right. Crisping up the fold.
Crisping up the fold. That's a good way.
Make it right.
Yes.
As an angle.
Oh, that's clever. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're top stitching. We're top stitching this fold down. So we're coming here, pivoting, coming across here and down here. I'm actually going to switch back to my regular presser foot for this.
So is that all you needed the zipper foot for, or will we need the zipper foot when you put it on the actual bag?
We won't now because we have this
Because you put it in it, okay.
And that's...
So basically the first time that you're attaching the zipper to fabric is when you most need the zipper foot.
Right. If you did just baste your zipper, although I would hope you weren't watching this video anymore, to the outside bag, you would need the zipper foot again, but that's what it made it really complicated for me, which is why I gave up, undid it, and found a better way to put it in.
Well, did it make it complicated, or did you just sew too close?
It was hard. It's hard to get that close through 3 layers near the top. It would help if I would have basted the zipper in, but this is going to make me a lot happier. Okay, so stitching close to the edge until top stitching. Come up towards the zipper foot. If in here you might want to hand wheel because there's plastic there, but turn it. Oh, it's not got enough. So what you saw there, it wasn't moving because the feed dogs didn't have enough fabric to catch. So I just picked up and moved my fabric a little bit forward so that it had enough fabric to catch. And so what we're doing is this seam will always hold this fabric away so it won't fold back up and bunch into your zipper teeth. If you're worried about this tab, stop now and zip it up further.
Just get out of your way.
Yep. And then when you get to the next corner, again, you might want to hand wheel because you got this really hard plastic stuff in the bottom of the zipper. Then pivot and turn the corner and sew down this fold. So that's what the finished thing looks like. And repeat this on with the other side of your zipper, which through the magic of TV, I already have. So zip them up to make sure they work.
Moment of truth. It works.
It works. So we're gonna sew this to our bag. It's gonna only, Okay, so how we put this on our bag. Leave it zipped up for now because one of the things that I like to see is you need to have the tab facing down because if you think about it, once you sew it, you want it to come up and be. So the right side of the zipper is the one with the tab, and so have the tab facing down. Then figure out like what is equally away from the side seam and pin this to that.
But you're doing it on the outside of the bag.
Yes, we're going to baste it in the outside of the bag, which will make it easier to then sew our outside bag to our lining.
Yeah, I know you just said this, but I'm going to emphasize it again that it's right side's touching.
Yes, right side's touching. So right side of the zipper is the side with
the pole.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is pinned from there to there. Now, there's 2 ways you can go about this next part. You can disconnect these 2 right away, but you have to make sure you're facing the right part inside of the zipper down on the other side. So instead of disconnecting them right away, I'm actually going to pick this up and go over and think about what would be folded under. You see how I'm doing that?
Yes.
So now I'm going to release it. So if you released it right away, you got to take it, go up and then one more time over. It's not good enough to just go over. You have to go over. Okay, let's start this again.
I don't think I understand.
When you unzip it, flip it upside down and go to the back side of your bag.
Okay.
And then what you want to make sure is that you start and stop on the other side, the same
same spot.
Yes.
Otherwise, your zipper's not going to line up, and you're going to have a bad time. Or your bag is going to be scrunchy.
Yes. Office, I promise I'm
you
still in
zip it
here.
closed. Huh. If I jump, it doesn't do anything.
No. It's like way up front there. Okay. Do you remember what it means when we baste?
No, I do not, and I was hoping that question was not going to come up because you were using that word, and I do not know what it means.
Okay, so basting is a temporary stitch.
Oh, that's right. I did at one point know that.
Stitch in the seam allowance, so less than whatever our regular seam allowance is. So our regular seam allowance is 1/2, so we're going to take 1/4 through the edge of the presser foot. The other thing you do is you turn your stitch length up to a 4, because if it does show up on the final part of the project, you want to be able to rip it out easily and quickly.
So what's temporary about this stitch?
We are putting these together, and then we're going to put the lining together and sew all 3 layers together. But the reason we want to attach this now is it's less to worry about later. And
so you aren't really going to take this one out because it's going to be buried?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good way of explaining it.
Which often happens. I feel like we talked about that another time with basting stitches.
Yes. A couple basting stitches can be to gather. It can be just to try something out to see if you're ever uncertain of something, like, oh, is this really how it goes? And then the other reason is, honestly, to take the place of pins. For something that is complicated and overly hard to pin, you can baste something in, and then that is pinning it in place. Okay, so we're gonna baste this side.
So another way to think of temporary could just be that it's not the last layer of stitching that you're going to do.
Yeah.
Because initially I was thinking of temporary, like you're definitely going back and taking these out, but that's not always the case.
The other nice thing about basting is it doesn't have to be very neat.
Still makes me want a turkey sandwich.
Yeah, I know.
I noticed you skipped one, and I was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah. I didn't hit it, but it was...
You didn't. You didn't, which is why you tried to skip the next one.
I know. Yeah. You know me. Okay.
I can't blame you.
So one more thing, because this is basting and it's easier to correct it here, before we go on to the next step, I want you to take your zipper, I want you to flip it up, and I want you to test that it works. Because if it doesn't, now is the time.
By works, you mean that it is lined up?
Yes.
At this point?
Yes.
Okay. You're hesitating?
Yes.
You don't like yours?
No.
Oh.
No, I was thinking through the next step.
Okay.
I did it right. We don't have to refilm this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so if you've gotten here, unzip your zipper again and put it down, and you are ready for the next step that I don't remember the number off the top of my head right now.
Okay, but we'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye.